Entire Tossedal, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle Aris, and today I'm going to be bringing you a game from WhiteRa once again, from his stream, as he was doing a hell of a lot of streaming as of late, once again. And as you can see, it is going to be on Shattered Temple. This is another gem from his stream. And who we're going to be playing against today, it's going to be the blue Terran spawning in the top position called NoxOut. I don't know much about NoxOut, however, he must be pretty good to be going up against WhiteRa. His MMR must indeed be quite high. Also, I have another announcement to give you guys right after I sort one thing out. Be right back. Just had to sort something out. What was the announcement? There was an announcement. Yes, in a week's time, I shall be interviewing WhiteRa, aka WhiteRa, which I'm not 100% sure on the details. I don't know whether it's going to be over a Skype call or if it's going to be a text-based kind of thing just yet. But I will indeed be able. I will be able to ask WhiteRa a bunch of questions. And if you have any suggestions for questions, please leave them in the comments below, because all help will be greatly appreciated. And I want to get as many good questions for WhiteRa as possible. And yeah, I feel extremely privileged to be able to interview WhiteRa, as I don't really see many interviews with WhiteRa. There was the one or two on the TSL thing, but that was just mainly about TSL. So we shall see how that goes in the future. I've also spoken to a few other pros who we may be interviewing very soon, which would be absolutely fantastic, so we will have to see. So, NoxOut going to be opening very standard here, going to be going for that barracks first as well as refinery. We do have WhiteRa going to be going for that gateway at a very normal time, as well as that assimilator. Scouting in the wrong direction, just going to be scouting close positions first, as that is always a giant threat on this map. You always want to know if your opponent is in close positions first, just in case they are going to be trying any cheese, as it would arrive a hell of a lot quicker than if he was in cross positions. So he is going to be grabbing his cybernetics core, and NoxOut at this point just going to be sneaking. Oh wow, look how hidden that is. Look, you can't see it. Just a supply depot behind that refinery there. And he is going to now find that he is in this position here, but will this Marine be able to deny all scouting? We shall have to see. Hopefully NoxOut's micro is good enough in order to be able to deny that, but actually I don't think he'll get enough shots off on it, and he actually forced to retreat with that probe, so good denying of the scouting there with that. Do have a tech lab out here for NoxOut, so he's going to be getting a Reaper pretty fast. You're going to probably be using that for scouting, and that's fantastic. And I'm sorry, but I'm casting, so I need to talk to you later. And we do have a Stalker on the way for WhiteRa. He does already have that Zealot out. And the Zealot Stalker pressure that you can potentially do on a Terran at the very start of a game can be sometimes quite punishing, depending on the unit composition that they do have out during that actual pressure. So we do have a factory on the way for NoxOut. That Reaper has just finished, and actually it looks like the potential pressure that could come from WhiteRa might arrive just a little bit late. I think there might just be a few enough Marines out here, and especially with this bunker, that will be denied quite easily. So just throwing down a few more supply depots, and actually a Robo Bay already going down for WhiteRa. So, but this has been seen by this Reaper, so really nice use of this Reaper here for the scouting purposes. He did want to block off the Reaper actually from getting through there, just by using that pylon, and then does indeed cancel that pylon. And that's really nice play there, just providing the ability to make the Reaper have to go the long way around if it does want to get a specific probe kill, etc. And really nice play there from WhiteRa. It's very, very subtle, but every little does count in these very, very high profile and high ladder game matches. So, Starport on the way for Mr. NoxOut here, and no doubt he is indeed going for that 1-1-1 build. I'm not too sure what he's going to be doing going into this now. Maybe getting some Banshees. He does already have this Hellion out, and if he was able to get a nice run by, he could get a few picks off of these probes, but I really don't think he'll be able to get up there, as there will be enough to block this off, no doubt. Do have an observer coming out. Sentry has just popped out for these gateways now. A third gateway actually going down, and WhiteRa has indeed began that expansion. So WhiteRa at this point playing very safe with this 3-gate robo play. Going to be seeing what's going on in the base of NoxOut, and going to be probably able to scout that starport going down. So he's in a pretty good position. Command Center also going down. Oh, and Cloak going down as well. And WhiteRa is going to see exactly what is going on here. and indeed he has already seen that with this observer, so he's going to be in a pretty good position. He's even clicking on that Tech Labs just to point out that he does know that that is coming. And wow, NoxOut actually cancelling the cloak, so good eye by NoxOut. He is supply blocked at this point, but good eye there by NoxOut, as he does realise that there was an observer just hanging above his starport, and ultimately realise that cloak would be pretty darn useless. So this expansion for WhiteRa is almost finished. We do have a siege tank on the way, as well as siege tech, as well as a Raven coming out. So was that Banshee completely cancelled? I think it was. So good play there by NoxOut, really realising that the Banshee as a whole, not just the cloak, would be completely useless. And in fact, he's actually lulled WhiteRa into a false sense of security here. We do have the observer in the back of the base here, with these stalkers just hanging out in the back as well. So actually he could have poked into the front here and done a little bit of damage, especially since he is controlling this middle Zelnaga watchtower. But this will be soon halted when it comes to control by these two stalkers and Zealot that are moving out across the map. Do have combat shields on the way. That Hellion is going to retreat back to the safety of the base. That orbital command, it has been morphed in and is now flying over to the natural. We do have a few barracks being created here and getting... what is that? It's a tech lab. Indeed, it is a tech lab, so he's going to be alright going into the later stages. However, WhiteRa's natural getting nicely saturated here. Just coming to this natural here, this main even, we do see pretty much good saturation there. Oh, and Banshee now actually going to be coming in here to try and harass, and actually he won't be able to do much there, as there are stalkers in both bases. So WhiteRa really kind of on the ball with this, and going to be able to deny just so much harassment from these Banshees. Banshees are so lethal. It does have 2 kills, so it did get 2 probe kills, but ultimately did get taken down, and that was pretty... it really didn't pay for itself ultimately. So we shall have to see what does go on. These siege tanks are going to be moving over here, and NoxOut, wow, looking to get a very, very quick third, and that's actually a really good play. He realises that WhiteRa's pretty content on these 2 bases right now, and since he does have siege tech as well, it's going to be very, very easy for him to actually defend against anything that does come along his way. So we do have now a reactor going down on this starport, no doubt for medivacs, as another barracks going down as well. So NoxOut going to be transferring into a very, very heavy bio army here. We do have a few more gateways going down for WhiteRa, as well as a Forge and Twilight Archives. Where is that Twilight? Templar Archives, even there it is, the Templar Archives. But also WhiteRa getting a very, very fast third as well. So both players here are really gearing up to play a very, very economical game. As I say though, this defense here from the Terran is absolutely perfect. The siege tanks in coordination with the Raven could just absolutely decimate any push that does come along, especially with these bunkers in place as well. So, a Warp Prism now on the way for WhiteRa, and oh my god, could we see some epic WhiteRa MC Void Prism, Warp Prism harassment. It looks like he's going to be loading up these units over here, and he does already have an Archon morphed in, which is quite an unusual choice. Normally you normally see Psystorm drops on mineral lines, but it looks like he's going to be morphing in a lot of Archons. What are you doing, WhiteRa? But okay then, okay, I'll go with it. +1 weapons are on the way for Protoss, as well as Stim for the Terran. We do have Vikings on the way, as well as a lot of Marauders, and another Warp Prism on the way. Could this be some double Void Warp Prism dropping Archon-ness? He does have a cannon going down in the back here in order to be able to protect from any Banshee arrest that does come along. And Jesus Christ, this is odd. I'm just kind of focusing on this. Come on, get on with it. What's going on? The Warp Prism's almost finished, so we're going to see very, very soon what is going on here. This is ridiculous. 4 Archons in Warp Prisms. You really don't expect to see that going into a Protoss match nowadays, but apparently here it comes. So let's follow these guys. We do have Charge on the way for the Protoss as well. And at the same time, though, WhiteRa's third has been up for quite a lot of time, and wow, these Archons are going to drop into this mineral line, and oh my god, 1 kill already on this Archon. 2 kills on both of these Archons here, picking up these Archons, and it looks like he was trying to transfer them over here to take out a lot of these probes, and oh my god, 7 kills on that Archon, whilst we have 7 kills on this Archon as well. So oh my god, each Archon here having almost 10 kills each, and that is utterly ridiculous. That mineral line was utterly decimated by just 4 Archons. So a massive, massive blow to NoxOut's economy there. And these Archons still ever resilient, going to be trying to kill as many of those Marauders, but don't get as many kills as they would have liked to on those Bio Forces. So NoxOut in a bad position here, really. He does have mules to fall back on to a certain degree, but he is just securing this third expansion. But at the same time, it looks like NoxOut actually going to be losing a Banshee down here near the gold, and WhiteRa just going to be probably trying to expand to this gold as well, since he's in such a huge economical lead, actually, now that I think about it. And we do have an Immortal coming out, as well as another Warp Prism. Another Warp Prism. No way. You are not going to pull it again, surely. I don't know. We'll have to see. We do have more gateways going down, as well as a second robo facility, and a huge, huge force moving out here for NoxOut. And really, there's only really Zealots and Stalkers going to be able to prevent this from actually doing significant damage. He is going to be moving in here and could do tons of damage. In fact, he does have PDD as well, so that could soak up a lot of the damage of this force here. Stimming there, going to be charging in with these Zealots and throwing up a Guardian Shield as well. Where is that PDD? He's actually throwing down point defense drones. Oh, and the PDD is there. Sorry, I'm completely blind as a bat. Not too bad force fields here, but ultimately not going to be able to prove as effective as he would have liked to. Focusing down that Immortal there, really good choice. And ultimately, these Stalkers have just been decimated by this force. Going to be now able to kite these Zealots very, very easily. And we do have +2 weapons for infantry, for ground units on the way for the Protoss. But now NoxOut going to be able to do some punishing damage here, as he is just ripping apart this, and going to be able to take out this Nexus, which is a huge hit to WhiteRa. So NoxOut really going to be able to pull himself back into this in terms of economy management, as he really needed to do something after losing all those probes, all those SCVs in his base. But at the same time, these Zealots did want to try and chase this down. A lot of these units are in the red, and the Zealots could potentially do a lot of damage if given the chance. So we do have concussive shells on the way. That engagement has now finished, and +2 weapons is almost finished for the Protoss. We have more Warp Prisms on the way. What is going on? There's just Warp Prisms galore. This is ridiculous. A few units misrallied here from NoxOut, so he's going to get a few easy kills there for WhiteRa. And but at the same time, this force is still pretty scary. Once this gets healed back up to full, it's going to be pretty strong. So, indeed. WhiteRa trying to secure his second once again, and it looks like NoxOut just going to be trying to mule up in his main. He is supply locked at this point, and still keeping up in the food production tab, 137 to 132 for NoxOut and WhiteRa. And actually going to the income tab, we do see that NoxOut actually pulling very far ahead in mineral income, but not so much in the gas income. But at the same time, we will have an engagement here, stimming, and going to be committing to this attack. Do we have Storm research? No, it's only just about to research. And we do have a lot of energy on these High Templar though, so once that is researched, WhiteRa is just buying time in order to be able to get some good storms off on these units. And a huge storm going down off on those Marauders. More storms going down, and all the units just running through it and not actually stimming to get away from it. So WhiteRa going to be able to fend this off potentially, but the Nexus is going to go down once again. Oh my god. But at the same time, we did have this Warp Prism, which I have missed up in the top corner, dropping some Zealots down here, doing more harassment onto this mineral line, so apologies for missing that. But at the same time, a lot of these stimmed units here in the red going to be able to be chased down pretty effectively. So really kind of intense pushes here from NoxOut, but at the same time WhiteRa trying to do as much economic damage as possible. And wow, now NoxOut, really good play here, going to be picking up and going to the next expansion. Really needs to drop those as quickly as possible. That Medivac does get taken down by these Stalkers, and the Zealots will be able to clean this up, no problem. Jesus Christ. So now at the same time though, WhiteRa is going to be warping in one Zealot up here, and that is going to be able to try and take those out, but these Marines are going to be able to take out this Warp Prism pretty damn quickly. The Marauder did actually go down to that Zealot, and that Zealot did get one Marauder kill indeed. So, fending off the frontal assault of NoxOut and going to be able to do some economic damage, but at the same time another Zealot going to be coming into the mineral line of NoxOut's second expansion, and just killing one SCV there, maybe going to get another one. More Zealots actually going to be warping in here, and going to be able to try and kill as much as possible, getting another SCV kill there, getting a Marauder kill potentially up in the top. But we did see another Marauder actually go down as well, and going to be charging straight into that Marine there, and taking out another 2 Marines. So really nice harassment here by WhiteRa. You really don't see enough Warp Prism play from Protoss nowadays, and WhiteRa really kind of popularizing and utilizing a lot of Warp Prism play in almost all of his matchups that I've seen him playing recently. So we do have weapons level 3 on the way for WhiteRa, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did see armor started anytime soon if he throws down a second forge, as upgrades in general against bioforces are just so strong. We do have a Ghost Academy on the way now for WhiteRa, and he's actually warping in a few High Templar here in order to accumulate some energy, and he's going to be dropping these on the forces pretty soon. But actually this Hellion has seen that force, so he's going to be able to come in here, and WhiteRa very cleverly going to be able to pick those High Templar up and move them up here, but some missile turrets will be able to fend that off, no problem. He did have to scan, as this was a little higher than this small crevice here, and just a bit of a stalemate right now. WhiteRa even does have this gold up and running. We do have Mobius Reactor on the way for those ghosts, so he's going to be able to do a bit more EMPing. And Mobius Reactor, yes, it is indeed a ghost thing. I thought it might have been. I was getting confused for the energy medevac thing, Majig, I can't remember what it's called. Robo Bay now on the way for WhiteRa, and we do have way more Immortals and a second Forge indeed going down, so he is going to be starting up those armor upgrades anytime soon. +1 weapons for the infantry going down for Nox as well. And really going to need to land some good EMPs here, and likewise WhiteRa will need to land some good feedbacks on those ghosts if he's to stand a good chance against an EMP heavy force. And we do have some Archons morphing in somewhere just behind here, and I absolutely love Archons with +3 weapons. They are so strong and just rip through so much in general. They are so good. So now Nox really kind of bolstering these forces. He is going to be taking a 4th down here. I'm surprised he hasn't taken the gold, as it is a little bit closer and easier to defend, but ultimately it's going to be okay. And we do have a big drop going down here, and we're going to be trying to pick off as much as possible. There weren't actually that many SCVs mining up here, and this Archon though going to be able to do a lot of damage. And SCV surrounding the Archon, and oh my god, SCVs are going to kill an Archon. I can't believe I just saw that. Jesus Christ. Wow, that was amazing. So look at all these over observers just placed all over the map. Normally you only ever see Protoss get 1 or 2 observers, but WhiteRa really just littering the map with them, as they are just such a good tool. And we do have Blink on the way as well as armor on the way for WhiteRa, and now expanding to the bottom, and these nice feedback on those medivacs, but these Archons did take, well, one Archon did take quite a lot of damage. Now stimming up, going to be able to do a lot of damage to these units, but wow, oh my god, those storms absolutely decimated these forces. Look how many units are in the red, and WhiteRa's force is just so healthy in comparison to this huge ball of units here. So WhiteRa going to be able to push in here and do significant damage. NoxOut has indeed actually expanded to this gold. I don't know when that happened, but going to be denied pretty easily here by WhiteRa, as he does have such a strong force, this Archon Immortal mix, and he did get the Robo Bay, but didn't even really commit to actually making any Colossus. And why is he getting a second Robo Bay? Why are you getting a second Robo Bay? No, he's going to have to cancel that shortly. So he is going to be able to deny this expansion as well. He has got a Warp Prism moving up here, and going to be warping in some units, no doubt. We do have Gravatic Drive on the way. That second Robo Bay was cancelled, and we do have +2 armor on the way for WhiteRa, as well as +1 shields as well. So, yeah, going to be pretty good going into this. And wow, 6 High Templar, 7 High Templar morphing in here, and just morphing them into Archon straight away. Going to be able to do a lot of damage, but this has been seen by the vision of these SCVs building these buildings. So he's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage here, because Archons are just so meaty. It's really going to take a lot of damage to actually rip through them. As you can see, they just last forever against so many Marauders and Marines. But he will need to retreat from that, as these Marauders and Marines are just too much to deal with. picking up a few of these Zealots and High Templar now that Archon does get taken down, but this Zealot and High Templar mix is going to try come over to this base here and do a bit of dropping action. But WhiteRa at this point just going to be neglecting that ever so slightly, and I'm sure we're going to see a drop soon. Yeah, there we go. Here comes the drop. But Gravatic Drive has now finished, and this Warp Prism is a damn sight faster now. Nice storm off on those units, but ultimately these Zealots are unfortunately chasing a single Marine and not going to be able to get too much damage off on these SCVs. We do get one SCV kill there for those guys, and now a Warp Prism actually coming to spot this command center. I'm going to be warping in a few units potentially over here, I don't know. We did have one Zealot here, just scouting out this base in order to be able to try and deny anything that did go on down there. And +1 shields almost done for the Protoss. Just going to deny this SCV with this one Zealot, but actually it's going to take a while for him to catch up. But we do indeed have more Stalkers warping in on the high ground here, going to be denying even more of NoxOut's economy. And oh my god, WhiteRa has just been everywhere in this game, and NoxOut has not a clue what to do. This has actually been a really reverse of roles, in fact, and wow, great use of Blink here, going to be able to save all of those Stalkers, bar one. So yeah, as I was saying before, this is really a reverse of roles. Normally you see Terran dropping everywhere, and even more Stalkers now warping in, going to be denying this base once again. And look at this, WhiteRa just has 6,000 minerals banked, and such safe play. He could have probably ended this game a lot earlier, but WhiteRa is so content to be able to just kind of sit back and wait for his opponent to really just kill himself just by sacrificing his army. So now he is going to be moving down here with everything he's got. This looks like the final push here for NoxOut, picking off that Immortal, which is a nice pick off, and going to be stimming to try and pick off as much more as possible. Nice storm there going down by WhiteRa, and oh my god, look at this Blink, just going to be absolutely decimating this force. EMPs, great EMPs going off there for NoxOut, but it's just not enough, as we do see NoxOut has been decimated in this battle, and more Stalkers going to be warping in here to finally just seal the deal on this game. So wow, WhiteRa just showing that he is the drop master Protoss, and really utilizing Warp Prisms to just great effect. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. He is going to be pushing in here with a lot of Stalkers, and these Marauders are pretty much all that stands between him and absolute victory. Just going to be blinking here in order to create a better concave, and Jesus Christ, WhiteRa just absolutely dominating this PvT. And Archon drops are cool, apparently. Archon drops are very, very cool. And NoxOut leaves without a GG, which is a shame. So, oh well. Not to worry. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this cast, and I will be bringing you more in the future very, very soon. And also, don't forget to leave questions for WhiteRa in the section below, or suggested questions even. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.